I woke up this morning with a whole bunch on my mind. Like, I woke up this morning with a lot on my mind. Like, not stress, not ideas. You know, I think that's when I know that, I'm actually building something, When my thoughts don't let me rest, that's when I'm like ready to execute and just take off. I just, Yesterday just really opened me up to a lot of things, and just listening to other people had me to the point to where it's like, this is time for me to start executing. I can't sit here and wait for everybody. Like, I've been waiting long enough, and I just think now it's just pretty much that time. And it's just that moment, that I do what it is that I keep saying I'm going to do. And let's just see what happens from there. Cause like, people got to understand, like, where I come from, like, gotta learn the hard way. Like, everything is the hard way. Like, it don't really come as easy as a lot of people think, especially from where I come from and the things that I've had to go through. And I think it was more like my mindset, the things that I was choosing to do instead of, you know, taking a willingness to actually learn from other people. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I was just kind of like blind to, just to the real facts. Pretty much that's how it is. Like, a lot of us learn life, the hard way. Sometimes experience just becomes our greatest teacher. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, once you catch on is when it's time for you to actually take off. I would just tell people, like, don't wait, even if you do wait, I hope you have that, in back of your mind where it's like, I'm still gonna do it. I need to do it. I'm gonna do it. It's getting done. Like, speak it into existence so that, it becomes truth. Like me, I try and speak from a real place, but I also want, also what I want to say is something that I want and hopefully help someone else, to grow, because like I say, man, life teaches all, just in different ways, I don't claim to have all the answers. I just share what life has shown me, so far. And it's been a lot. I've been through a whole bunch of things. Like, some people know about the accidents that I've had, getting hit over the head a couple of times, the eye surgery, the case that I've had to deal with, just a whole bunch of growth, and like, the older I get, the more I realize, like, life is just constantly teaching, every day, there's something to learn, something to fix, is something to understand. And the wisdom is not just for one type of person, it's for anybody trying to grow, it's just a universal thing, that way, I don't want people to feel left out today. Like, I hope if I'm not just talking to you, I hope I'm talking to somebody that, need this for the day. I'm here to motivate, as well as still grow, as a person. So I'm not here to act like I got all the answers, because I really don't, I wonder if anybody else see themselves in this, though, to be honest with you, because I think we all go through things, and a lot of us don't want to express ourselves or don't want people to, know what's going on, because a lot of us try and pick, paint that picture like we're perfect, and we know that we're not, and people, that's close to us know that we're not, because some people know us personally, so they see the things that we go through. And it's just like, at some point you just have to be real about, what it is that you go through, like, growth is a real thing, and sometimes, it just don't come easy. Like, I used to think small, not because I wanted to, it just because that's where my mind was at the time. Like, I wasn't always open to change, and I wasn't always willing to look at myself and be accountable. Life just pretty much had to slow me down a few times. And in a strange way, it just knocked some sense into me, like, literally. So, what I mean by this is I started just realizing how important it was to be mindful, to think before reacting, to understand, that growth only happens when you're honest with yourself. Like, a lot of us go through things, that shape us. Like, some people learn from conversations, some from learn from their mistakes, some learn hard, some learn hard moments, but one way or another, life is going to teach us, no matter what you can do. Like, it's always a divine purpose. The Most High always has a plan, and it all depends on, the way you look at things is the way things is actually going to be. And that's why I always tell people, like, speak what is going to happen, speak what you believe is happening, not the negative, But the positive is like you create your own reality no matter what you think. But what you say out, to the universe is what's manifested and is what you create. So, when like I say, it's realer than what people really think. Like when you finally start growing, you start seeing things different. You move different. You start taking responsibility for your actions, your words, your direction. Your life is going. I just say this like, I'm not saying it like I got it all figured out because I don't. Like I say it because I know what it feels like to be stuck in one mindset, and I know how it feels like to start growing. To just grow out of it. And just become a little bit more mature, more wiser. Growth is just basically uncomfortable. Accountability is uncomfortable. But that's where the change happens. Look, y'all, like I'm just gonna be honest. Like I started paying more attention to my choices, my reactions, my responsibilities, and that's when I know there's real change happening. Like I'm still growing. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm still learning. I'm still becoming better than I was yesterday. You know, and that's the message I wanted to share this morning. Rather, wherever you are in life, give yourself room to grow. Like be honest with yourself. Be accountable and don't be afraid to evolve. Because once your mind opens, your life starts to follow.